Avishai Vanna, and I'm a technical advisor for AppScan. In this short video, I want to show you a few tips and tricks that will make your scan more accurate, more efficient, or in general, a better fit for you. So when we open AppScan, we all know that scan wizard that takes us through the basic configurations of a scan, starting URL, login credentials, the test policy, test optimization, which is new for V10, and then we can start a scan. Let me start a scan later and just open a completed scan so we will have some context to talk about. So these are only the basic configurations. We can do that, create a scan. It will be a good scan, but here we want to make the scan more accurate for our needs. So once the scan is finished, this is the view that we get. On the left here, we can see all the scanned pages, the site tree. In the middle, we can see the findings, and on the right, we can have specific information for each finding. But before we dive to the findings themselves, let's take a look at the Explore data. Here on the upper right, we have these three buttons. The left one is the Explore data. My recommendation is whenever you initiate a scan for the first time for a new application, don't rush to a full scan. First, perform an Explore without the test phase. It will be a lot shorter, and yet you will get a lot of information that you can use to modify the configuration and make the scan better. Let's start with the exclusion of paths. Let's say you have an application and there are pages that delete information from the application, and you don't want AppScan to mess up with your application. The easier way is to simply right-click and exclude that page from the scan. But if you have several of those, delete user, delete table, delete content, delete something, you can do that from the configuration. You can go to the exclude paths and files, add here the path that you want to delete. You can use a regular expression and have, let's say, .*delete .*, which will filter out every path or page that has delete in it. Speaking of excluding files and paths, let's take a look at our filtered URLs. Once you go to the Data tab, you have all the information here of the Explore phase only. That's before we started the test phase. So you can see all the requests that AppScan sent. You can see all the cookies, parameters that AppScan found, all the failed requests. But what I want to show you here is the filtered request. So we have the file extension filtered request, which is okay. We have the untested web server request, which is also okay. But we also have this DOM similarity filtration. AppScan has a mechanism to exclude redundant pages and paths, so the scan is faster and more accurate with less redundant information. But it is advised, at least for the first time you run a scan on a new application, to look at that list and make sure that you don't have here functionality that AppScan decided is redundant, and maybe you do want to have it explored. If you do find something like that, you can go again to the configuration and to the Explore options, where you can modify the way AppScan filters pages. You can filter more, filter less, or even disable the DOM similarity filtration altogether. Once you do that, you probably want to have the redundant path limit turned on so your scan doesn't last forever. One more thing I want to show you, and this time we'll skip to the test phase and look at the issues. Here, for example, we can see a test called direct access to administration pages. This test and some other tests rely on the 200 OK response. AppScan has an automatic way to detect error pages, custom error pages. So if you get a 200 OK response, which is a custom error page, this test should not be marked as vulnerable. In rare occasions, AppScan might miss out on those custom error pages and declare those types of tests as vulnerable. This is not the case here, but this is something I do want to show you how to configure. So this is the HTML content of the page. If I do decide that this is a custom error page, I can configure AppScan to detect it. And let's just choose a string that will, let's say, here it is. Let's copy that. And this is a string that represents a custom error page. Let's go to the configuration again, go to error pages, and then simply add that string to our configuration. And by the way, it can also contain a regular expression if you wish. Let's do OK, and then by simply hitting that button, apply to current results, I can make AppScan take that new configuration, apply it to all the findings that use that error page configuration, and then eliminate all those redundant findings. It also lists or tells us how many issues were erased or eliminated after it's finished. In this case, 28 tests were modified. Let's close that, and we can see that this test no longer appears here in the list of issues. So these were just 3 configuration items out of hundreds that you can use to make your scan better and more accurate. Familiarize yourself with AppScan configuration and make better use of it by learning those configuration items, those tweaks that you can make to perform better with your application. Thank you very much for watching this video. More to come.